Hello, welcome. Welcome one, welcome all. It's time to continue the march through Morrowind. Very excited. I hope all of you watching are having a most fine day, like I am. I guess I should say evening. Let's test me out here for a second. Testing. Testing. I think it sounds okay. Let me try it here. What about this? Testing. Hello. Perfect. There's that lovely music. Okay, it's been a few days, but yeah, ready to pick up back in Algeroon. If I remember, I had some books to read. Yes. Continue. The world won't end. Oh, look at this lamp. It's got Daedric writing inscribed on it. I think it's Daedric writing, I'm not sure. Very nice.
Come on, I haven't got all day to stand around and talk to you.
I'm not talking to you. You're talking to me. You know what? I do got all day if you want to talk. Yeah, right. There's a contest over those mines. So I know I found like this book, The Wolf Queen, that I was gonna read that I hadn't read before. But where was it? Well, that was an odd. There's like a cloud of smoke. So I was like, yeah, what? It's a visual bug? I jump there. It's this little. Yeah, hello? It's just fine over here. Or not, maybe. Oh, I'm very thirsty. Terrible. Okay. Hopefully that'll be a limited visual
Let's
thing.
do some
That cloud.
business, shall we?
Yo, what's up? Tyrus Sadis? What do you sound? Oh, bunch of stuff. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you were here at the Wolfie before. Okay, cool. Perfect. This Wolf Queen, she's not a very nice person. Basically, very power hungry. She wants to make her child ascend to the throne. At the end, her child dies. She's just all she cares about is the power and the glory. She doesn't really care about her child that much. At the end, it seems like. Okay, The Wolf Queen, book 4, by Walgin Jarth. Not sure how to say that. From the pen of the 1st century 3rd era sage Montokai. 3rd era, year 109. 10 years after being crowned Emperor of Tamriel, Antiochus Septim had impressed his subjects with little but the enormity of his lust for carnal pleasures. By his second wife, Gisilla, he had a daughter in the year 104, who he named Kintira, after his great-great-great-grandaunt, the Empress. Enormously fat and marked by every venereal disease known to the healers. Damn, he's really trying to collect them all. Antiochus spent little time in politics, but Kintira, his daughter, is going to be a great ruler, who has a very sad tale, but she's good, he's not. His siblings, by marked contrast, excelled in this field. Magnus had married Helena, the Cyrodiil queen of Lilmoth. Not sure where Lilmoth is. Oh, I see. Okay, the Argonian. What? Oh, I see. Okay, the Cyrodiil queen of Lilmoth is replacing the Argonian priest king, having been executed. Gotcha. And was representing the imperial interests in Blackmarsh admirably. So the priest king got killed, and then Magnus and Helena, a Lilmoth must be in Argonia or Blackmarsh. Sephorus and his wife, Bianchi, were ruling the Hammerfell kingdom of Ghislaine with a healthy brood of children. But no one was more politically active than Potema, the wolf queen of the Skyrim kingdom of Solitude. 9 years after the death of her husband, King Mantiarco, who was way older, I think, Potema still ruled as regent for her young son Uriel. Their court had become very fashionable, particularly for rulers who had a grudge to bear against the emperor. All the kings of Skyrim visited Castle Solitude regularly, and over the years emissaries from the lands of Morrowind and High Rock did as well. Some guests came from even further away. The next year, Potema stood at the dark harbor and watched the boat from Piandonia, I think that's another continent. And there's one of the seas, I think it's called Piandonia or something. Against the gray, breaking waves where she had seen so many vessels of Tamrielic manufacture. Yeah, it's a different continent. It looked less than exotic. Insectoid, certainly, with its memberless sails. Rugged chitin hull, but she had, yeah, I guess that would be something. Tomorrow would have an insectoid craft. I don't really know what whoever lives on Piandonia are like. I guess there may be insectoid. And rugged chitin hull, but she had seen similar, if not identical, seacraft in Morrowind. No, if not for the flag, which was markedly alien, she would not have picked out the ship from others in the harbor. As the salty mist ballooned around her, those mist, I guess mist balloons, yeah, the ballooning fog. She held out her hand in welcome to the visitors from another island empire. The men abroad were not merely pale, they were entirely colorless. Okay, this is what they're like, so they're not insectoid. As if their flesh were made of some white, limpid jelly. I'll just double check. I think limpid means like kind of soft, like okay, something clear, serene, and bright, often liquid. So kind of semi-transparent, seems like. Weird. But she had been forewarned. At the arrival of the king and his translator, she looked directly into their blank eyes and offered her hand. The king made noises. His great majesty, King Orgnum, said the translator haltingly, expresses his delight at your beauty. He thanks you for giving him refuge from these dangerous seas. You speak Cyrodiilic very well, said Potema. I am fluent in the language of 4 continents, said the translator. I can speak to the denizens of my own country, Pandonia, as well as those of Atmora, Akavir, and here in Tamriel. Yours is the easiest, actually. It's simple and basic. No, I don't know. I was looking forward to this voyage. Wow, yeah, right, because I know Atmora, Akavir. Akavir is where the snake men are from. Atmora, I think, was originally where men came from. They migrated to Tamriel from Atmora. I guess Pandonia is where these pale, transparent people that make noises are from. Wacky. Please tell His Highness that he is welcome here and that I am entirely at his disposal, said Potema, smiling. Then she added, you understand the context, that I am just being polite? Of course, said the translator, and then made several noises at the king, which the king reacted to with a smile. When they conversed, Potema looked upon the docks and saw the now familiar grey cloaks, watching her while they spoke with Levlet, Antiochus's man. So the grey cloaks are from... Oh, no. I see. The Sigic Order. Okay. But they work for the Emperor, not her. The Sigic Order from the Somerset Isle. Very bothersome. My understanding, the Sigics, they kind of advise the Empire, help them out on the side. My diplomatic emissary, Lord Vulcan, will show you to her rooms, said Potema. Unfortunately, I have some other guests as well who require my attention. I hope your great majesty understands. His great majesty, King Orgnum, did understand, and Potema made arrangements to dine with the Piandonians that evening. Meeting with the Sigic Order required all her concentration. She dressed in her simplest black and gold robe and went to her stateroom to prepare. Her son, Uriel, was on the throne, playing with his pet, Jogcat. I don't know what a Jogcat is. They're in Skyrim, but I don't remember there being an enemy in Skyrim named Jogcat. Or called the Jogcat. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, darling, said Potema, lifting her son in the air with a faint strain. Tell us, but you're heavy. I don't think I've ever carried such a heavy 10-year-old. That's probably because I'm 11, said Uriel, perfectly aware of his mother's tricks. And you're probably going to say that as an 11-year-old, I should probably be with my tutor. I was fanatical about studying at your age. I'm king, said Uriel petulantly. But don't be satisfied with that, said Potema. By all rights, you should be emperor already. You understand that, don't you? Uriel nodded his head. Potema took a moment to marvel at his likeness to the portraits of Tiber Septa. The same ruthless brow and powerful chin. When he was older and lost his baby fat, he'd be a spitting image of his great. It just cuts. It cuts off the page. Hello? Okay, take it, but report this for a printing error. I guess I can't tell if that's intentional. I mean, probably it's just that he's way older. I don't know. Behind her, she heard the door opening and an usher bringing in several grey cloaks. She stiffened slightly, and Uriel, on cue, jumped down from the throne and left the stateroom, pausing to greet the most important of the Sigics. Good morning, Master Iacusis, he said, enunciating each symbol with a regal accent that made Potema's heart soar. I hope your new accommodations at Castle Solitude meet with your approval. They do, King Uriel. Thank you, said Iacus, delighted and charmed. Iacus and his Sigics entered the chamber and the door was shut behind them. Potema sat only for a moment on the throne before stepping off the dais and greeting her guests. I am so sorry to have kept you waiting, said Potema. To think that you sailed all the way from the Somerset Isles and I should keep you waiting any longer. You must forgive me. It's not all that long of a voyage, said one of the grey cloaks angrily. It isn't as if we sailed all the way from Piandonia. Ah, you've seen my most recent guests, King Orgnum and his retinue, said Potema breezily. I suppose you think it unusual me entertaining them, as we all know the Piandonians mean to invade Tamriel. You are, as I take it, as neutral in this as you are in all political matters. Of course, said Iacus proudly. We have nothing to gain or lose by the invasion. The Sigic Order preceded the organization of Tamriel under the Septimicity, and we shall survive under any political regime. Right, so they're like these kind of like symbiotic, separate, but they give advice and their mystic help to the whatever dynasty is controlling them now. Rather like a flea on whatever mongrel happens along, are you? Said Potema, narrowing her eyes. Don't overestimate your importance, Iacus. Your order's child, the Mages Guild, has twice the power you have, and they are entirely on my side. I'm in the process of making an agreement with King Orgnum. When the Piandonians take over and I am in my proper place as empress of this continent, then you shall know your proper place in the order of things. With a majestic stride, Potema left the stateroom, leaving grey cloaks to look from one to the other. We must speak to Lord Levlet, said one of the grey cloaks. Yes, said Iacus. Perhaps we should. Levlet was quickly found at his usual place at the Moon and Nausea Tavern. Oh my god. Whenever I read the tavern name for Sky, I'm like, what? The moon and nausea. It's always like two things. Blank, and they're like, I don't know. They're either rhyme or alliteration or just like, what? Like the moon and nausea tavern. Oh my god. Elder Scrolls tavern names. I need a list of them. I should be writing these down. That's so funny. I'm honestly, I'm gonna just make a little note from now when I see a tavern name that I think is funny. I'm gonna add it to the list. God, moon and nausea. What the hell? Okay. Normally I take my notes on the computer, but I can't tab out. Um, I can't tab out while playing Morrowind because the game hates it. It'll like crash. I used to freeze my computer. I had to install a mod that like changed the way Morrowind exited. Old game, great game, old game. So I'm just got a little notepad on my phone here, and then actually a physical notebook. I guess I should pick which one I want to do, but sometimes my physical notebook's far away, so don't want to reach for it. Okay, let's continue. So they're at the Moon and Naja Tavern. As the three grey cloaks entered, led by Iacchus, the smoke and the noise seemed to die in their path. Even the smell of tobacco and flint dissipated in their wake. He rose and then escorted them to a small room upstairs. I guess that's because these people are magical and powerful. Because they enter they kind of like their aura disperses all sound and smells or something. I get like people are looking at them, but the smell? Interesting. You've reconsidered, said Levlet with a broad smile. Your emperor, said Iacchus, and then corrected himself. Our emperor originally asked for our support in defending the west coast of Tamriel from the Pyandonian fleet in return for 12 million gold pieces. We offered our services at 50. Upon reflection on the dangers that a Pyandonian invasion would have, we accept his earlier offer. Okay. So now that these guys, they want to side with, that makes sense. Because they probably don't like the Mages Guild. The Mages Guild has generously, perhaps for as low as 10 million pieces, said Iacchus quickly. Over the course of dinner, interesting, so the Mages Guild had also made an offer, probably under Potema, maybe to assist with the invasion, but they want to stay, they want to keep their power in Tamriel, so they're bidding really low. Over the course of dinner, Potema promised King Orgdom through the interpreter to lead an insurrection against her brother. She was delighted to discover that her capacity for lying worked in many different cultures. Potema shared her bed that night with King Orgdom, as it seemed a polite and diplomatic thing to do. As it's interesting with the pale, transparent guy. Yeah. Okay, why not, I guess. Yeah. As it turned out, he was one of the better lovers she ever had. Yeah, there you go. He gave her some herbs before beginning. That made her feel as if she was floating on the surface of time. Okay. Conscious only of the gestures of love after she had found herself making them. She felt herself like the cooling mist, quenching the fire of his lust over and over and over again. In the morning, when he kissed her on the cheek and said in his bald white eyes that he was leaving her, she felt a stab of regret. Dang. I ship it. That sounds nice. The ship left harbor that morning, en route to the Somerset Isles and the imminent invasions. She waved them off to the sea as she footsteps behind her. What? She heard, maybe? Yeah, I think they're supposed to be heard. This book needs some editing. was Levet. They will do it for 8 million, Your Highness. Oh, so Levet's on her side. Thank Mara, said Potema. I need more time for an insurrection. Pay them from my treasury, and then go to the Imperial City and get the 12 million from Antiochus. We should make a good profit from this game, and you, of course, will have your share. What? I'm confused. But didn't the... Hmm. Potema wanted the Pyndonians to lead an insurrection against her brother. So why would she want... Yeah, so here's later, Potema heard that the fleet of the Pyndonians had been ordered to destroy. Why would she want that, though? Did she want the insurrection to go well? Yeah, so the Sijiks destroyed the Pyndonians. King Ordum and all the ships, but other than island. Dang. Sometimes making people hate you, she said, holding her son near the clothes, is how you make a profit. Well, shit. I suppose. But what? I'm just confused why she would do that just to make a profit. To get the 12 million from Antiochus. Hmm. I'm trying to understand exactly what's going on. I think I get it. I'm just a little confused by how she's making money off this, because isn't she still paying the Sijiks to destroy this fleet that's helping her? Yeah, so the Antiochus's man. So basically, I think he just threatened her into. She's threatening the Sijiks into making a deal with Lord Levelet, who's working for her as well, to cheaply destroy the Pyndonians? She needed more time for it. Huh. I don't quite get it, but that's okay. Like, I get the idea, I just don't get why that's good for her necessarily. Like, couldn't she have just let them run wilder? Oh, the ghost fence. I guess then maybe the Sidrix would have not destroyed the Piandonians, and that means their invasion would have gone further, and maybe she just doesn't want to work out of the Piandonians. Well, I don't quite get it. That's okay. Oh yes, this guy. This is the guy who owes everyone $1 million. Oh, you poor man. Why? Look, you got these fancy
You may
rings and
speak.
earrings and such. I'm a man of independent means. I do not need to labor like a commoner. Proudly unemployed. Yes, I do have some overdue payments with local merchants, but I'm afraid I can't pay my debts right now. You seem a little strapped with cash at the moment, but I have certain very attractive prospects underway. I'm sure I'll be able to pay very soon. You clearly do not appreciate the finer points of honor, Outlander. No self-respecting gunman would allow himself to be influenced by crude threats. I've not the cash now, but I expect I'll have it soon. These are the words of a gentleman, and I'll have my honor questioned by a rude Outlander. I will give him a little bit more time, but not a whole lot, man. You got like a few days. Look at that. You do have cash. Not much, but you owe most of the town money. Like, it's time to pay up.
What is this about?
Whose house is this? Drynar Varian. The one and only. The famous Varian family. No, I've never heard of the famous Varian family. It's a Potter. I mean, yeah, I suppose you are a Potter. Damn. I don't know my Tamrielic famous Potters. Maybe this guy's renowned, I don't know. His house isn't that big, but pretty nice redware. I do like it.
Outlander.
Gindra.
What do you want?
With this Aldscar Inn. Let's see what's going on in the Aldscar Inn. What was I exactly doing? I sent it for you. Yes, thieves gold wants me to get one. Steal this helm from this manor. Yeah, payments. I think I convinced this guy to leave town. Ah, yes, I gotta find that book, The Chronicles of the Cleft, which I've read that before, but... Oh, yeah, okay, and this guy sent me to Tane. It's in the mod that I installed, the mainland. Cool, so I have another reason to go to the mainland. This was kind of odd. Like, I stole this devil taunt off in the Mages Guild, and I think I even, like, murdered some of the mages, but they didn't. It was, like, a separate event or something from just the normal Mages Guild scene, so nobody got mad at me. But I'll take it. Yeah, okay. Cool.
Let's hear it.
Skeeter. Hello. He's new in town. Claims to be studying pottery. Yeah. Yeah, a little suspicious. I mean, all the pottery in his house. He likes his pots. Yeah, that's all I can say. He's very suspicious. Madness is a sickness of the soul. It comes from a lack of faith and a love of sin. Huh. Nice hearing. Seeing that just because people are abandoning the religion. So they're having these dark dreams and losing their minds. Clearly,
Oh,
come to Sivi. You'll find yourself. Tundir. Hello,
from
Tundir.
where do you hail?
I hail from far across the stars, the lands of Cud. I'll tell you all about them, but you wouldn't believe me. A net trader. Good for you. Damn. Gotta clean up. Merthieri Lilip. Yeah, okay. Aso Zansumani. Whoa, you say a lot. It's in the guild, okay, you say that these guild person. Perhaps it means nothing. It is peculiar, the tall figure in the golden mask. It puts me in mind of the golden helm of the Ordinator, but it does not seem to fit with the spirit of the dream. My people take careful account of dreams, but only a wise woman can tease from them their meanings. My people, I wonder if he's an Ashlander. Tall figure in the golden mask, Dagather. Unfortunately, I have seen. I don't really remember exactly what it looks like, but I've just briefly seen him. So I vaguely know what Dagather looks like. It sounds like I remember a mask, so that seems right. Margan, small fishing village. Right. Trader. Not a subject for idle conversation. Fair. What's my persuasion at these days? Speech is not very good. I should just bribe him or something.
I will listen, Outlander, but make it quick.
I'm sorry. He hates me. Sometime I'll have good speechcrafts. I'll be talking up everyone. Make them like me. Nope, we have not
What
met.
is this about?
Anything juicy in here? Nothing juicy. Tasty. A keg. Oh, you have sick armor. So like orcish armor. Maybe this is ebony armor. I don't know.
Breton?
Entirely sure. Groth. Kaka. These dudes for hire. I'm sorry, I travel alone. I'm a lone wolf. I work alone. Some books. The Red Book of Riddles. I haven't read any of these. Well, maybe. No, I don't think so. I read the Yellow Book of Riddles, not the Red Book of Riddles. This is a volume of verse collected from wise women of the Urshilaku Ashlanders. It consists of verses composed by Ashlander warrior champions and Ashkans. What that's their leaders are called, committed to memory by the wise women and transmitted down the generations. May I Shrink to Dust is attributed to the long-dead poet and warrior, Sir Shishi Musmanul. Oh, he sounds awesome. Rise from the darkness, red mountain. Spread your dark clouds and green vapors. Birth earthquakes and shatter stones. Feed the winds with fire. Flay the tents of the tribe from the land. Feed the burned earth with our souls. Yet never shall you have your rule over me. Never shall I tremble or flinch from your power. Never shall I yield my home and hearth. And from my tears shall spring forth the flowers of grassland springs. Wow. I'll bid justice, Sushishi Musmaru, to your ancient masterwork. This handy book doth contain all divers manner of riddles and follies, and by means of careful study the prudent scholarly gentleman may find himself no longer discomfited by the sharp wit of his fellows. Right, they like the riddles. Yeah, I don't think I've seen this one. No, I don't want to see the answer. I looked at the answer for the first one, but it has a tail, a side, and a head. I call it what I call a snake. It has no body and it is dead. Oh, like a coin, a drake. Yeah, okay. Well, that's too bad because I saw it. But... Okay, I'm not going to read the answer for the next one. See if I can figure it out. Poets know the hearts of men and myrrh. But beasts can't know my heart. You see, this book was written by a bear. Hmm. This book was written by a bear? Uh... What? It is not a book of poetry? I don't get it. But I gave you a sock, not unlike a box, with hammers and nail all around. Two lids open when it knocks. So I gave you a sock, not unlike a box. Hmm. Gave you a sock, not unlike a box. Uh... Okay, I'm just looking at it. It must have been a great hit, so I'm assuming it's like, I gave you a sock, like a punch. Two lids open when it knocks? Like two eyelids? These are weird riddles. This one I liked. I wish I had not. The first one was a good riddle. These two, I don't know. Oh, okay. Actually, I think I have this one before. What a wondrous love it is to bind two souls in faith. Yeah, chained together, never else word, real and woe, wish and real. Woven to each other. What does wheel mean again? It's like... Um, prosperity. Or a wheel, like a welt. Prosperity, I guess, and woe, wish and real. Yeah. It's a nice sentiment. Two souls bound in spirit and fate. Throughout all good and bad. I like this bar. Nice lanterns again.
I'm listening.
Damn, look at
Go
that.
ahead.
The glorious sun. Into the council club. I don't think they'll like me.
Things to do, so if you don't want
This is the Kamara Talk, right? Yeah, I really don't think they're gonna like me being around here.
Tell your friends about this place.
Really? You want me telling your friends? It's like private. Maybe not, actually. Kind of thought this was all Kamara Tang.
Is unfamiliar.
Kamana Tang, sorry. Brutal disregard for human life. Thief. Yeah. Pauline Lervu is a knight. He likes his pots. So true. And Daedra, this is an interesting book. Right. Daedra, ancestor, Daedra, not our ancestor. Daedra, change. Yeah, into Lorkhans. That's some wild, deep lore crap. The moons, though. What if the moons have been killed? Daedra can't die, apparently. Ooh, what if I open this lock? I warm my hands with a fire. Very nice. Come on. There we go. Sure. I have a lot of these probes. I can't really use them very well, though, because I have terrible security skill. I'm keeping them exclusively. Oh, Cyrodiilic brand. Oh, okay. I guess the Council Club is the Thieves Guild. But there's more of the Thieves Guild in a different place. In this town, I'm fairly certain. Up to daisies. Didn't mean to get caught. Nothing doing here. Nothing's happening. Oh, come on, get on my way.
Where is that slave? What do you
Okay. Back to Aldrune. The bookseller. There were a couple books. I think they were shorter books, though. I wish to read or review. Anything over here? Not that I can tell. Just a big crab. There. The crab. Very big. Pawnbroker.
I haven't got all day to stand around and talk to you.
I talked to you already. Work. Yeah, okay. Why would you buy from every person in town? So smart. I don't think I've read this one. 5 Songs of King Wolfarth. Now, King Wolfarth, I think that King Wolfarth is the Under King, or the featured prominently on the Arcturian heresy. So something with the Dwemer. So I'm quite interested in this, actually. Shore's Tongue.
Come on.
Oh, did I just see the one? Warrior of Gods and Warships. This is a... No. I want to read the book. There's one of these awesome books just gives a little summary of every single god out there. And Shore was interesting. I think he had to do with death or something. Kine is like storm, wind. That book is great. It just gives like a little paragraph on all the gods. It's been a moment since I've read it though, so be a good review. Shore's Tongue. The first song of King Wolfarth is ancient, circa first era. Yeah, so King Wolfarth is old as hell. First era 500. After the defeat of the Alessian army at Glenumbria Moors, where King Hoeg Mercury was slain, Wolfarth of Atmora, was elected by the Pact of Chieftains. But I guess I've also heard that Wolfarth is apparently Ysmir. Which, yeah, that later confirms. Yeah, right. So this King Wolfarth person is very important. Because I know of Ysmir is hugely important in the lore. King Wolfarth is literally just Ysmir. Like, that's crazy. And apparently he's also maybe Talos. Well, he was the power behind Talos. That's what the Arcturian heresy says, at least. Which I think is not necessarily true, but it's like it's an interesting theory. It could be true. So yeah, Wolfarth of Atmora was elected by the Pact of Chieftains. His Thum shouts, right? It was so powerful that he could not verbally swear into the office. And scribes were used to drop his oaths. Immediately after this stuff's pretty badass. The scribes wrote down the first new law of his reign, a fiery reinstatement of the traditional Nordic pantheon. The edicts, don't know what those are, were outlawed. Their priests put to the stake, and the halls set ablaze. The shadow of King Borgas had ended for a span. For his zealotry, King Wolfhearth was called Shore's Tongue. I guess Shore is an ancient Nordic god, Ysmir, dragon of the north. Kind's song, the second song of King Wolf. Second song of King Wolfhearth glorifies his deeds in the eyes of the old gods. He fights the eastern orcs and shouts their chief into hell. Damn. He rebuilds the 418th step of High Hrothgar. Yeah. Damn, the 400. Isn't it like 1,000, 10,000 steps or something? I've climbed those many times. Should have been damaged by a dragon. He swallowed a thunder cloud to keep his army from catching cold. The Nords called him the Breath of Kine. That's all so crazy. I love just mythical stories that are just nuts like that. He swallowed a thunder cloud. Yeah, okay. Old Knocker. Archie. So that sounds like. The third song of King Wolfhearth tells of his death. Orky, maybe also Arcay, potentially. It was in the Nine Divines pantheon. He has like his realm or whatever, realm of power is that of death. Orky, an enemy god, had always tried to ruin the Nords, even in Atmora, where he stole their years away. Seeing the strength of King Wolfhearth, Orky summoned the ghost of Aldwin Time Eater. Oh shit, Aldwin's here again. Again? Yeah, I think I even heard this, potentially. Yeah, so Aldwin eats time. I feel like I don't know. I wish the Skyrim stuff with Aldwin and all this stuff was wilder, like Morrowind was. Because Morrowind's so wild and kind of metaphysical. I think maybe there's elements of that. It would be interesting to go back to. When I was playing Skyrim, I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to the lore, but would have been cool if they had gone wilder with Aldwin. I kind of always thought Aldwin was kind of a boring, like cool in theory, but like I don't know. At the end of the day, he was just another dragon that you fought. Like I felt this final boss fight was always pretty disappointing. Great game though, not overall a great game. I think just the main quest in general was parts of it were cool. Like parts of the main quest were freaking awesome. Don't get me wrong. Like, but I think as a story, weaker compared to the faction quests. I really like the Thieves Guild and Dark Brotherhood DLCs. They're great. But yeah, I don't know. I can talk about more later. But so nearly every Nord is eaten down to 6 years old. Damn, I can't do much. Boy, Wolfhearth pleaded to Shore. So Wolfhearth is now 6. He's pleading to God, the dead chieftain of the gods, to help his people. Shore's own ghost then fought the Time Eater on the spirit plane, as he did at the beginning of time, and he won. And Orky's folk, the orcs, were ruined. Well, maybe Orky is someone else, because I don't remember. I don't think of Arcay being related to orcs, so maybe not. I think that the names maybe just sound similar. As boy Wolfhearth watched the battle in the sky, he learned a new theme. What happens when you shake the dragon just so? Dragon, like Akatosh, time? Well, how to shake time or something? He used this new magic to change his people back to normal. In his haste to save so many, though, he shook too many years out on itself. He grew older than the Greybeards and died. Damn. The flames of his pyre were said to have reached the heart of Kine itself. It's a pretty badass way to go out, though. The Ash King. Oh, he's not done yet. He's Jesus. He comes back. The fourth song of King Wolfhearth tells of his rebirth. The dwarves and the devils of the eastern kingdoms had started to fight again. The devils? I don't know what the devils are, but dwarves, yeah. I guess the devils, like the Daedra? Probably Daedra. Daedra, duh. And I guess I think I've heard of Daedra maybe were originally called devils. So that makes sense. This is an old document in the first era. They started fighting again. The Nords hoped they might reclaim their ancient holdings there because of it. They planned an attack, but then gave up, knowing that they had no strong king to lead them. Then in walked the devil of Dagoth. Ooh. Dagoth? Like Dagon? Like Maroon's Dagon? Dagoth So then in walked the devil of Dagoth, who Dagoth is a mystery to me still. I'm very interested in it. Who and what he is. So the devil of Dagoth who swore he came in peace. Moreover, wait. So Shor is dead, right? The dead chieftain of the gods. So I think I actually think of this now. Shor is Lorkhan. That's what I was trying to remember from that book that described the gods. And Lorkhan is the missing god who died, who created the mortal realm, kind of the Loki archetype figure who sort of tricked. Maybe some say he tricked, some say he did this really well, and people like because he created the mortal realm basically. And elves, especially high elves, really don't like Lorkhan because they severed Lorkhan severed the elves' divine connection. Like they were once like kind of Aedra themselves, and now they're just mortals. Um, but men who are like they love Lorkhan and Shor, I think, who is also Lorkhan, is a different name, like the same concept. They really like him, and I guess they call him Chieftain of the Gods because he's the one who created the mortal realm. I think the men and elves are kind of at odds with each other. So the Heart of Shor is also the Heart of Lorkhan, which I've heard mentioned. The Heart of Lorkhan is what powers the dwarves, because the dwarves are trying to create a god, is my understanding, and potentially the way to do that is by using the heart of dead Lorkhan. So Dagoth tells the Nords a wondrous thing in an effort to make peace, or to claim that he's making peace. He knew where the heart of Shor was, Lorkhan. Long ago, the chief of the gods had been killed by elven giants. That's a different. I mean, I might be wrong about Shor, but I think that's it. I'm not sure what elven giants is referencing though, and they ripped out Shor's heart and used it as a standard to strike fear into the Nords. This worked until Ysgramor shouted some sense, and the Nords fought back again. Now Ysgramor is different than Ysmir. Ysgramor is the first man who came, like the leader of the first men. Ysmir is different. I think I sometimes get those two mixed up. I think they're the same person when they're not. You could test my audio one more time. Is this working? So if I'm talking like this, does this sound good? Fairly good enough. Shouted some sense. And the Nords fought back again. Who are the elven giants, though? What the hell? Knowing that they were going to lose eventually, the elven giants hid the heart of Shor so that the Nords might never have their god back. But here was the devil of Dagoth with good news. The dwarves and devils of the Eastern Kingdom had his heart, and this was the reason for their recent unrest. The Nords asked the devil of Dagoth why he might betray his countrymer. Countrymer, I like that, because they're not men. The mer, right? Elves. Elves and men. Mer and men. So, and he said that the devils had betrayed each other since the beginning of time. This was so, until the Nords believed it. The tongues sung Shor's ghost into the worlds again. Who are the tongues? The tongues. I feel like that got mentioned once before, briefly. Shor's tongue. The tongues. They're like probably graybeards or something. I think. Yeah, tongues, right? They use the voice. That makes sense. I'm just gonna say that. So the tongue sung Shor's ghost in the world again. Shor gathered an army as he did of old, and he sucked in the long-strewn ashes. Okay, so Shor's ghost is sucking in the ashes of King Wolfarth and remade him. for he needed a good general. But the Devil of Dagoth petitioned to be that general too, and he pointed out his role as the blessed harbinger of this holy war. So Shor had two generals, the Ash King and the Devil of Dagoth, and he marched on the eastern kingdoms with all the sons of Skyrim. Okay, so the Arcturian heresy, as my understanding, picks up after this, which I'm going to read, but I think I had thought that King Wolfarth was Dwemer, but maybe he just participated in a battle at the Red Mountain with the Dwemer. But I'm going to keep reading. So that's maybe my new theory is that he's not Dwemer, he's this badass Nordic guy, which makes a bit more sense. But no, the Arcturian heresy, I think, said he became Izmir later? I don't know. I have to read that again. The book was nuts. The fifth son of King Wolfarth is said. Survivors of the disaster came back under a red sky. Yeah, so yeah, checked him. Okay. This is after this. They go, they march, it's a disaster. This is when probably the Red Mountain exploded and Morrowind became a total hellscape, you know? Not a total hellscape, but with all this ash and blight. That year is called Sun's Death. The Devil of Dagoth had tricked the Norns, for the heart of Shor was not in the Eastern Kingdoms and had never been there at all. As soon as Shor's army had got to the Red Mountain, all the devils and dwarves fell upon them. Their sorcerers lifted the mountain and threw it into Shor, trapping him underneath the Red Mountain till the end of time. What? Their sorcerers lifted the entire mountain, chucking it at Shor. This is reminds me of the Ramayana, where, well, it's a little different, but it's a Hindu famous myth story, epic myth story, where there's this monkey god Hanuman who picks up a giant mountain, brings it, he runs across the sky and carries it because this mountain has there's one flower. It's a mountain of many, many flowers. There's one flower that's the cure for Rama, the hero character. And Hanuman, well, he's a monkey god, he's smart, but he's not that smart, so he doesn't know which flower it is. So he's like, well, shit, I'll just take the whole mountain. I guess it's not that similar, but just lifting mountains. That's the similarity. Great story, though. I love Ramayana. So Shor now, the ghost of Shor? Maybe Lorkhan? It's trapped under Red Mountain until the end of time. They slaughtered the Son of Skyrim, but not before King Wolfarth killed King Dumalakath, the dwarf orc, and doomed his people. So this one the dwarves died? Maybe. Then Vec the devil blasted the Ash King into hell, and it was over. Later, Kyne lifted the ashes of Izmir into the sky, saving him from hell and showing her sons the color of blood when it is brought by betrayal. And the Nords will never trust another devil again. The secret song of Wolfarth Ash King. Interesting. The truth at Red Mountain. So this was maybe not what happened. This is another take on what happened. The heart of Shor was in Resdain. It's the early land of the Dwemer. Maybe this is what it was called before Morrowind? Morrowind is called Resdain, and then it was later called Morrowind. So maybe my guess. I'm not sure. I've just heard Resdain, Veloth led the... No, maybe Resdain was before that. This is because I don't think the Dunmer maybe not in here yet. I don't know. I have to keep figuring it out, but... So this time the Heart of Shor was there. It wasn't somewhere else, as Dagoth had promised. As Shor's army approached the westernmost bank of the inner sea, they stared across at Red Mountain, where the Dwemeri armies had gathered. News from the scouts reported that the Chimeri forces had just left Narsis. No, they are here, the Chimeri, but the Chimera, not the Dunmer. These are still changed ones. They're not Dark Elves yet. Narsis, City of the Dead, which is this location that exists. They have the Tamerlane built mod, so we can go there. That'll be epic. So they're taking their time. The Chimera. Dagoth said that the tribunal, so the tribunal still a thing, had betrayed their king's trust. Yes, Lorkhan. Okay, I was right. Okay, wait, I'm a little confused about this. Dagoth said that the tribunal, the Chimeri, had betrayed their king's trust. The Dwarf King? But they sent Dagoth to Lorkhan, for that is what they call Short and Restain, so that the god might wreak vengeance on the dwarves for their hubris. That Nerevar's peace with the Dwemer would be the ruin of the Velothi Way. I see, so I think the tribunal is going against um, so I think the tribunal is going over their kings. That the tribunal had betrayed their king's trust. Yes. Because the Chimera, probably Veloth, whatever his descendants, the Dunmer lords are allied with the Dwemer, but the tribunal says no. This is terrible. It's the ruin of the old way. Um, Nerevar. Oh, okay, their king is the Nerevar right now. So Vivek sends Dagoth to Lorkhan so that the god might wreak vengeance. Sure. Who's attacking the Dwemer with the Nords? But Shore's heart is in there, but Shore's ghost is with the Nord army? Basically, Dagoth is getting Lorkhan to wreak vengeance on the dwarves for their hubris. That Nerevar's peace to the dwarves be the ruin of the wealthy way, yes. This is the reason for the slow muster, so they got their forces to grow. So the armies grow. And Lorkhan, for that is what they called Shore and Risdane, said, I do not wreak vengeance on the dwarves for the reasons of the tribunal I believe I do. Nevertheless, it is true that they will die by my hand, and whoever should side with them. This Nerevar is the son of Boethia, one of the strongest Padomaics. Not sure what a Padomaic is. Probably a Padomaic is a Daedra, simply because Padome, I forget, it's like Anu, it's like Anua or something, and Padome are the two primordial creation deities, plus Nirn, who formed like the Mother Earth, basically. Mother Earth, Anua, which is like kind of creation or something like that, and Padome, which is change, and then kind of Aedra versus Daedra. Well, Aedra, I think, have some of Padome in them as well, but Daedra are only from the dark change aspect of creation. So, nearby the son of Boethia, one of the strongest, Daedra, basically. He is a hero to his people despite his tribunal. He shall muster enough that this battle will be harder going still. We will have more than what we have. We will need more than what we have. And so Dagoth who wanted the dwarves as dead as the tribunal did, went to Kogaron and summoned his house Chapthil. Not sure what that means, but I think it's a made-up word, but let me just Google it in case it's not. Chapthil. Yeah, it's a Dunmer word. So Dagoth went to Kogaron and summoned his house, so the sixth house, probably, Chapthil, his Nick sounds, his wizards, archers, his stolen men of brass, so stolen, probably done Dwemer constructs. And the Ash King, Wolfhearth, Hori Izmir, went and made peace with the orcs in spite of his Nordic blood, and they brought many warriors, but no wizards at all. Many Nords could not bring themselves to ally with their traditional enemies, even in the face of Red Mountain. They were close to desertion. Then Wolfeye said, "Don't you see where you really are? Don't you know who Shore really is? Don't you know what this war is?" And they looked from the king to the god to the devil and the orcs, and some knew, really knew, and they're the ones that stayed. Wait, what? The king to the gods of King Wolfarth, god Lorkhan / Shore, devils Daedra, Dagothar, orcs, and his 6th house probably, maybe. That's an interesting question. Do you know what this war is? I mean, it's against the Dwemer. And they're here because they want to reclaim their old homeland and because they want the heart of Shore, the heart of Lorkhan, basically. The Doom Drum. Nerevar, the Hortator, carried Keening, a dagger made of the sound of the shadow of the moons. Damn. That's badass. The sound of the shadow of the moons. Write that down. And that's another name for that dagger of the moon in the sky or whatever. I don't know, this has another name. I bet this is his famous weapon. I've never heard this version of it, though. That's a cool phrasing. I just want to remember it. Yeah. His champions were Dumak, Dwarf King. Is he a dwarf then? So Nerevar's working with the dwarves, I guess. Who carried a hammer of divine mass, and Alandro Sul, who was the immortal son of Azura and wore the Wraith Mail. They met Lorkhan at the last battle of Red Mountain. Lorkhan had his heart again. It's like Sauron with his ring. Maybe. But he had long been from it, and he needed time. So he's struggling to use his full power. Wolfarth, King, whatever, the Ash King, King Wolfarth, Izmir. Wolfarth met Sul, but could not strike him, because he's immortal and wears the Wraith Mail, that's fair. And he fell from grievous wounds, but not before shouting Sul blind. Dagoth met Dumak and slew him, but not before Sunder struck his lord's heart. So Dumak attacked Lorkhan, struck the heart with the hammer. Is he the king of the dwarves? Or I thought the king of the dwarves was King Dumalakath. Maybe Dumak. Dumak Dwarf King, Dumalakath, yeah, okay. Well, Dwarf Orc, this is a whole different history. So here they're claiming that the dwarves and orcs are like together. I don't know. Whereas here, it's Dumak Dwarf King. But before Sunder struck his lord's heart. Sunder is capitalized, but I'm assuming that's maybe this hammer. Nerevar turned away from Lorkhan and struck down. So Nerevar and Lorkhan were fighting, but when Degather kills Dumak. Nor turns away from Lorkhan, strikes down Degather in rage, but he took a mortal wound from Lorkhan in turn, because he turned his back, probably. But Nerevar feigned the death that was coming early. So struck Lorkhan with surprise on his side. The heart had been made solid by Sunder's tuning blow, and Keening could now cut it out. And it was cut out, and Lorkhan was defeated, and the whole ordeal was thought over. When did they get the heart in the first place? I guess they found it. It was in Resdain. That's crazy. That was some wild lore. I really want to read the Arcturian Heresy again, though. Interesting. So what did I learn? I learned that... Oops, not this one. Basically, the difference with the secret history was that the heart was there. The tribunal betrayed Nerevar, which is what some people have said, yeah, that they screwed Nerevar over, the reason Nerevar died. And this is when the Nerevar died. He died, but was able to get the heart of Lorkhan back. For some reason, the dwarves also died. They disappeared. The tuning blows, a hammer of divine mass. So that must be Sunder, and it has a tuning blow, which solidified this heart. Maybe he was divine, like he was fighting God, but this hammer was able to, since it's a divine mass hammer, like brought him into the physical realm. So now that this knife, not necessarily physical, this knife dagger is made of the sound and shadows of the moon, but that's pretty crazy. I'm gonna briefly check on this anticipations. These are about the Daedra who became the tribunal. Theosis, the tribunal became the precise sciences. Yeah. So the three, Boethia, Azur, and Mephala recognized this tribunal that were coming, and they anticipated it. Early ancestral anticipations of the loving patronage of the tribunal, yeah. So high elves who followed Boethia and Trinimac, because basically Boethia impersonated Trinimac and then exposed the truth to his followers, so they were like, shit, we believe you. So then they changed themselves into dark elves. They're like, this is actually the way, all you guys are following the bullshit path. I don't really understand what the truth is that he told them, but that's my understanding with how Boethia ate Trinimac, taking on his form and then like telling his followers stuff, persuading them to join him. I like the manifold and androgynous, so like many aspected Mephala, who just like Vivek is also badass hermaphrodite god. Hmm. Yeah, Anu and Padme. This is the creation myth. So when the Padmeacs, um, Anu was like light, dark, basically, whatever. Yeah, light and darkness. They created Nern. The blood of Padme became Daedra. So the Podomaniacs, whatever the word was, were Daedra, absolutely. The mingled blood of both became Aedra, yeah. Hence their capacity for good and evil and their greater affinity for earthly affairs. Okay. So they're connected deeply to creation. Yeah. Old Elnafe is the High Elves, I think. Okay.
Probably nothing.
Very interesting. It's Buzz Lottery. Oh, the bookseller, even more. But I think these ones are short, the ones that I was gonna read here. Yeah, I've read that. Just read that one. This is the one I was most interested in. Steers Actor, yeah, this place is cool. There's like the cat people who want to become dragons, the snake people. All men in Mer know that Tamriel is the nexus of creation, where the last world happened, where the gods unmade Lorkhan and left their adamantine tower of secrets. Where's that? Take me there. Though men once lived on Akavir, these men were eaten long ago by the vampiric serpent folk of Saisi. Damn, so Saisi ate the men. Oof, that sucks. Akavir means Dragonland. Tamriel means Dawn's Beauty. One means Elderwood. Only red cards. Good means okay. Um, I've read the Swimmers review. Kamal, Snowhell, demons live there. Yeah, the monkey folk, right? There's monkey folk too, the Tangmo. Atasun Der Kamal, king among demons. He attempted to conquer them, but Almalexian, the Underking. Yeah, but okay, I remember King Wolfhearth was known as the Underking. So King Wolf, the king of the dwarves? The Underking? I'm not sure. Maybe the Arcturian Heresy is just a crazy book, like it's a theory. A nutty conspiracy theory that might be true. Golden scaled snake people, pretty cool. Slave the goblins. Right? Yeah, the potentate for Sidhu Shai. Yeah. Who ended interesting at the end. He was assassinated by the Morag Tong. I didn't know that. He's in that like big long 12-book series on the last year of the First Era. He's part of the plot to kill the Emperor Sidhu Shai. I'll put on the Tiger's Dragon. These people are so cool. The Catfolk are really the divine. Toshraka, the Tiger Dragon. Great Empire stronger than the Saisi. So after the Serpent Folk ate all men, they tried to eat all the dragons. And they've been trying to become dragons. I want to see that. I want to see these cats experimenting on themselves trying to become dragons. That sounds super wild. Right, so one of them did succeed. The largest dragon in the world, orange and black, and he has very many new ideas. He wants to invade Tamriel. Oh, I hope they. Man,
Okay,
Elder
I've
Scrolls
got that.
6.
But make it quick.
Please. Please. Have that be the villain or something. That'd be so badass. Like a giant tiger dragon. I guess they did dragons in the last one. That's different. This is totally different. That's creative. They're probably not though. I'm not. I don't. My hopes for Elder Scrolls 6 are low, but words of this is short. May I shrink to dust is from the Ahamusa ashlands of Gracelands. May I shrink to dust in your cold, wild wastes, and may my tongue speak its last hymn to your winds. I pray for the herder that whistles to his gar at play. I pray for the hunter that stalks the White Walkers. White Walkers? In Westeros? I pray for the wise one that seeks under the hill, and the wife who wishes for one last touch of her dead child's hand. I will not pray for that which I've lost. When my heart springs forth from your soil like a seed and blossoms anew beneath tomorrow's sun. Wow, that's really pretty, actually. When my heart springs forth from your soil like a seed and blossoms anew under tomorrow's sun. Oh, this is I love this story. Great one, The Mirror. Would recommend. I've never seen Volume 2 of this one. Ferment the Stars, right? Yeah. The Serpent's interesting. Yeah, I read this one. When Trinok was eaten by the dead Queen Proethia and transformed in that foul god's insides, the orcs were transformed as well. Of old, Malakath was Trinimac. Oh. So Velothi, the Dunmer original priest, they had a distant movement among the elves, and Trinimac attempted to halt them. Boethiah was on Velothi's side, ate him, and then Trinimac's body and spirit were corrupted, and he emerged as Malakath. Interesting. So Malakath is what would remain of Trinimac. And Auriel is the High Elven version of Akatosh, is kind of my understanding.
Okay, I've got that. But make it quick.
Yeah, I've read that. That was kind of a nice, that was interesting on like addiction. This is the Khajiit myth. This one's wild. There's the heart of Lorkhan that's filled with great darkness, and Lorkhan tricks his siblings so they're forced into this new place with Nuri. Yeah, and the Khajiits, they're really associated with the moons, and the moons are seen as this like shield that permits like higher godlike beings from getting to the mortal plane, from getting through to Nern. And Azura bound the new Khajiit to the lunar lattice. Yeah, this like lunar, it's like an energy shield of moons. It's just proper for so like all Khajiit are Nern's secret defenders. And the sugar is apparently the moon's light. Huh. Ether. Who is Ether again? Ether. Yeah, and finally said the Khajiit must be the best climbers for if Masa and Secunda, facing where moons fail, they must climb Canarthi's breadth to set the moons back on their courses. It's like climb up the sky or something. Damn. Nerni doesn't want the Khajiit, there's no place for them. Ether. I just don't know what Ether is, but that's okay. Ah. I've read this one, right? Yeah, it's what this guy who is. He's like an archaeologist exploring Dwarven ruins, and he gets caught in the trap. I think he escaped, though. Barely.
Okay, Outlander.
Oh, I think I've been out here. I know I have. It's unlocked. Okay. Onward. Onward and upward. I've been over there. This was the. Was this the Aldrine Manor? Was this the manor that I'm supposed to find this helmet in? No. That's that manor that seemed like it was haunted or something. I'm not going to do it now. There's a couple things I found. I found that haunted manor, and then I found a door last time to very clearly a dark cult. I kind of just closed it, though. I'm like, maybe not right now. Okay, so I think I'm going to join House Redder, and they're cool. I like their swords. I mean, I'm not a longsword guy, but they're still pretty cool, right? I'm an axe guy. Axe. And I can't join the Telvanni because I'm in the Mages Guild, so. And I don't like Halalu, so right around it is. I feel like my options I've been in there before. What's that clothier? I deliver the shirts too. My options are limited with the houses. Not limited, they're just like my decision's made. If I really had to pick, I'd join Telvanni, but I'm already in the Mages Guild, so it don't make sense. I didn't read what this building was actually. This place is so cool though. Look at these ceilings. The groinings.
What
Very
is it,
nice.
Breton?
Cien Centivive. Alchemist. Alchemisti. You want some good stuff? I need potions I don't want. I have a lot of those, but they're useful. Storm magic, huh? I like them. I like them very much. You have an emerald. Honestly, do I just sell my ebony? It's 10 pounds. I'm sorry, it's like 10 pounds. I'm gonna sell it. Oh, they're not gonna like that. Anything else? Glass. That's expensive too. Wow. But no, then you don't have enough money. I'm just gonna go try that. Nice. Dope. Don't mind me, just checking out what you got in here. Yeah, I've read that. Okay. Kumshu, Kumixku. Super cool. Back into the crab. Hello.
Do I know you?
No. Oh, wait, you can tell me about this. Oh, these corner. Well, thank you. You deserve your coin. You've done me a great service. I mean, not really. I would have found it anyways. But
Is there something you need?
I'm surprised beggars are even allowed in here. Commoners, like, this place seems like the elite. I guess the Red Around are chill like that. But, you know, this feels like the elite palace of the Red Around's crab. What is this? The Enchanter. They need to work on their paths on this lower floor, though. I will admit.
Shopping for enchantments?
Yes. Oh, boots of blinding speed. I love them. Awesome. There's totally a way to exploit that. I mean, I guess just the mini-map. But there was that weird glitch that I don't know if it's a glitch, but like I could see for a moment, and then I'm just getting double speed. Like that's crazy. Um, I don't know, man. Those are worth a bunch of money. So fuck it. Mm-mm. Soul up, yeah. Spotted designer shoes, man. The light enchantment. Bro, you owe so much money. This man's gonna die. He gonna die. Okay, I'm not getting there. My sneak ain't that good. Vault of enchanted items. Probably. Okay, time to go up. Let's see what's going on the upstairs. Look at this place. It's so cool. Woo.
Come on. I haven't got all day to stand.
Okay, let's start over here. Work my way in a circle. Oop. Looking good. I look like a robot. Like some crazy artist version of C3PO or something. Venom Manor. Sure. Nice little wall engravings. Ah, mushrooms. Lovely.
Wealth beyond measure, Outlander. Mathera.
Hmm. I'm just gonna explore this room first. It's a crusader. Damn. The full Dwemer garb. Cool. Right wing. How do I get up? Private quarters. I probably can't be here, but it's gonna big save. It's been a moment. Not that I've done a whole lot today so far. A lot of reading. Interesting. These are decked out. Pretty cool. This place is huge. Whoa. 84. It's getting up there.
Outlander.
Go ahead.
Ooh, you look important. Very nice armor. That Daedric sword. Hot damn. Is that a... It's a katana, maybe even. Bulvin Venom. Ooh, he doesn't like me.
What is this about?
Yeah, I am just in his private quarters. This is probably a... That was stupid. I don't know why I went here. The right wing. Wait, before I go in the right wing, I want to go... Wasn't there somewhere down here I could go? What the hell? This place is enormous. It keeps going. What the hell? Okay. Whew. That looks expensive. Gimme. Got some more? Yeah. That. Extravagant. I'm looking for exquisite. That's the best. What's going on? Looting amulets. This is a little overkill maybe, but that's okay. Not much going on in here. It's a nice building though. Okay. What is this? More bedrooms. Right.
Let's hear it.
Oh, okay. Book 1. At last, I'm almost done with this series. I'm getting there. By Karlovac Townway. The first of Morning Star. 2920. I guess that's the first month, maybe? Mornold. Amalexia lay in her bed of fur, dreaming. Not until the sun burned through her window, infusing the light wood and flesh colors of her chamber, in a milky glow did she open her eyes. It was quiet and serene, a stunning reverse of the flavor of her dreams, so full of blood and celebration. Interesting. I guess she has been in a lot of war, I suppose. That's interesting just to dream about that. For a few moments, she simply stared at the ceiling, trying to sort through her visions. I do that sometimes in the morning. I'm like, what the hell am I just dreaming about? Kind of fun. Disorienting you sometimes, and then you forget so quickly. It's like, oh, it's gone. You have a dream, and then boom, it's gone. In the courtyard of her palace was a boiling pool which steamed in the coolness of the winter morning. At the wave of her hand, it cleared, and she saw the face and form of her lover, Vivek. Interesting. She's like looking in this boiling pool, which is like a little FaceTime pool. Cool. In his study to the north. She did not want to speak right away. He looked so handsome in his dark red robes, writing his poetry as he did every morning. Vivek, she said, and he raised his head and smiled, looking at her face across thousands of miles. I have seen a vision of the end of the war. After 80 years, I don't think anyone can imagine an end, said Vivek with a smile. But he grew serious, trusting Alexia's prophecies. Who will win, Morrowind or the Cyrodiilic Empire? Without Sothasil in Morrowind, we will lose, she replied. My intelligence tells me the Empire will strike us to the north in early springtide, by first seed at the latest. Could you go to Artaeum and convince him to return? Right, because Sothasil is in Artaeum, teaching mages about the truth of things or something. Teaching the Sidrics. So she saw the end of this first era. I'll leave today, she said simply. For the 4th. Gideon Blackmarsh. The Empress paced around her cell. Wintertide gave her wasteful energy. While in the summer she would merely sit by her window and be grateful for each breath of stale swamp wind that came to cool her. Across the room, her unfinished tapestry of a dance of the imperial court seemed to mock her. She ripped it from its frame, tearing the pieces apart as they drifted to the floor. Damn. Then she laughed at her own useless gesture at finding skis imprisoned. She would have plenty of time to repair it and craft 100 more. The Emperor had locked her up in Castle Giovese, 7 years ago, and would likely keep her here until he or she died. I forget exactly why, but with a sigh, she pulled the cord to call her knight Zook. Now, Zook is also working for Oh, I forget who exactly, but he's part of this whole plot. Though she is also part of the whole plot. I guess we'll find out again. But he appeared at the door within minutes, fully uniformed and as befitted an Imperial Guard. Most of the native, and he's a Argonian. Most of the native Kathringi tribesmen of Blackmarsh preferred to go about naked, but Zook had taken a positive delight to fashion. His silver, reflective skin was scarcely visible, only on his face, neck, and hands. Your Imperial Highness, he said with a bow. Zook, said Empress Tavia, I'm bored. Let's discuss methods of assassinating my husband today. Yeah, right. She's part of the plot, yeah. And so is Zook. I just forget there. I feel like there's betrayal between them, maybe, but I might be wrong. It's been a moment since, and I've read this whole thing way out of order, so it's a little bit of a jumble, but it's coming together as I keep reading more and more. 14th, days later, Imperial City, Cyrodiil. The chimes proclaiming South Wind's prayer echoed through the wide boulevards and gardens of the Imperial City, calling all their temples. The Emperor Riemann III had always attended a service at the Temple of the One. With his son and heir, Prince Juilik found it more political to attend a service at a different temple for each religious holiday. This year it was at the Cathedral Benevolence of Mara. So it's called, cathedral, I guess. The Benevolence's service was mercifully short, but it was not until well after noon that the Emperor was able to return to the palace. By then, the arena combatants were impatiently waiting for the start of the ceremony. The crowd was far less restless as the potentate for Sidushai, Tsesi, the Snake Man, had arranged for a demonstration from a troupe of Khajiit acrobats. Your religion is so much more convenient than mine, said the Emperor to his potentate by way of an apology. What is the first game? A one-on-one battle between two able warriors, said the potentate, his scaly skin catching the sun as he rose. I guess he's complaining that he has to do all this stuff for his religion. That's why he's saying your religion is more convenient than mine. Yeah. Armed, befitting their culture. Sounds good, said the Emperor and clapped his hands. Let the sport commence. As soon as he saw the two warriors enter the arena to the roar of the crowd, Emperor Riemann III remembered that he had agreed to this several months before and forgotten about it. One combatant was the potentate's son. Oh shit. Severian Korak, a glistening ivory yellow eel, gripping his katana and wakizashi with his thin, deceptively weak-looking arms. Damn, their kids are fighting. That's crazy. The other was the Emperor's son, Prince Juilek, in ebony armor with a savage orcish helm, shield, and longsword at his side. This will be fascinating to watch, hissed the potentate, a wide grin across his narrow face. I don't know if I've ever seen a Cyrodiil fight an Akaviri like this. Usually it's army against army. At last we can settle which philosophy is better. To create armor to combat swords as your people do, or to create swords to combat armor as mine do. No one in the crowd, aside from a few scattered Akaviri counselors and the potentate himself, wanted Severian Korak to win. There was a collective intake of breath at the sight of his graceful movements. His sword seemed to be a part of him, a tail coming from his arms to match the one behind him. It was a trick of counterbalance, allowing the young serpent man to roll in a circle and spin, to roll up into a circle and spin into the center of the ring in offensive position. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. The prince had to plot forward the less impressive traditional way. As they sprang at each other, the crowd bellowed with delight. The Ekaviri was like a moon in orbit around the prince, effortlessly springing over his shoulder to attempt a blow from behind, but the prince whirled around quickly to block with his shield. His counterstrike met only air as his foe fell flat to the ground and slithered between his legs, tripping him. The prince fell to the ground with a resounding crash. Metal and air melted together as Severian Korak rained strike after strike upon the prince, who blocked every one with a shield. "We don't have shields in our culture," murmured Visajushai to the emperor. "It seems strange to my boy, I imagine. In our country, if you don't want to get hit, you move out of the way." When Severian Korak was rearing back to begin another series of blinding attacks, the prince kicked at his tail, sending him falling back momentarily. In an instant he had rebounded, but the prince was also back on his feet. The two circled one another until the snake man spun forward, katana extended. The prince saw his foe's plan and blocked the katana with his long sword, the wakizashi with his shield. Its short, punching blade impaled itself in the metal, and Severian Korak was thrown off balance. The prince's long blade slashed across the Akavir's chest, and the sudden intense pain caused him to drop both his weapons. In a moment, typo, it was over. Severian Korak was prostrate in the dust with the prince's longsword at his throat. "The game's over!" shouted the emperor, barely heard over the applause from the stadium. The prince grinned and helped Severian Korak up and over to the healer. The emperor clapped his potentate on the back, feeling relieved. He had not realized when the fight had begun how little chance he had given his son at victory. "He will make a fine warrior," said Visajushai, "and a great emperor." "Just remember," laughed the emperor, "you Akaviri have a lot of showy moves, but if just one of our strikes comes through, it's all over for you." "Oh, I'll remember that," nodded the potentate. Riemann thought about that comment for the rest of our games, and had trouble fully enjoying himself. Could the potentate be another enemy, just as the empress had turned out to be? The matter would be bear watching. 24th. 2 days later? No. Wow, 10 days later. Or, sorry, not 10. 7 days later. That was 24. Back in Morrowind. "Why don't you wear that green gown I gave you?" asked the Duke of Mournhold, watching the young maiden. "Oh, this is Turala. Okay, we're finally going to figure out why Turala got expelled. Got exiled. Not expelled. Watching the young maiden put on her clothes. "It doesn't fit," smiled Turala, "and you know I like red." "It doesn't fit because you're getting fat," laughed the Duke, pulling her down on the bed, kissing her breast, the pouch on her stomach. She laughed at the tickles, but pulled herself up, wrapping her red robe around her. "I'm round like a woman should be," said Turala. "Will I see you tomorrow?" Wait, she's pregnant, yeah. "No," said the Duke. "I must entertain Vivek tomorrow, and the next day the Duke of Ebonheart is coming. Do you know, I never really appreciated Almalexia and her political skills until she left." "It is the same with me," smiled Turala. "You will only appreciate me when I'm gone." "That's not true at all," snorted the Duke. "I appreciate you now." Turala allowed the Duke one last kiss before she was at the door. She kept thinking about what he said. Did he appreciate her more and less when he knew that she was getting fat because she was carrying his child? Right, because she's just his mistress. Would he appreciate her enough to marry her? No, he exiles her. That's why. Okay. The year continues in Sunstone. Interesting. That was really interesting. I kind of gave a lot of basic context to the stories I've been reading. Give me the money. Oh, damn. Expensive. You see nothing. Nothing at all. What kind of shirt do I have? Extravagant or exquisite? I want an exquisite shirt. It's just extravagant. It's exquisite. There we go. Frick, yeah. Better enchant capacity if I ever wanted to do that. Maybe not quite as stylish, but that's okay. There we go. Sure, it's robe time. I like the robe. Okay. Right wing. Right wing. Okay. This is an upper part of the right wing. Sure, I'll go here first. I don't know. Man, this place is huge. This is just one of the manors. This is all inside the crap. Assuming. Wow, it's a maze.
Outlander, what do you want?
Steal this key. Ah, no. Okay. I thought maybe. Don't I have? I might actually have an invisibility spell. I want the key. I guess I don't need the key. I don't know. Keys can make it easier to open doors, I suppose. Like quietly, I think. No. Must keep our special guest in the room behind the tapestry. Make sure the door is locked and that he's under guard at all times. Invisibility. I have a potion of invisibility, no? I'm invisible. You can't see me. What the fuck? Whatever. Room behind the tapestry. I can remember that. Makes my sleeks. I guess I wasn't sneaking when I was invisible, but I mean, I think I would have found this anyways, man. This isn't that deep. Okay. I didn't need the key.
Let's hear it.
Asen Serethi. I'm gonna wait. That's cool though, but it's a nice little secret. I have like no reason to be here. This is, I think maybe one of the issues with this, kind of one of the ways I play this game is that I'm a little bit like, since I just explore everywhere, I'll get to places that a quest will send me to later. So I'm exploring an area I will explore again later, but oh well, it's okay. It's fun. I don't mind it. I actually enjoy it quite a bit, actually. In fact, just wandering around, seeing what I find.
Probably nothing. You may speak.
Right wing. Okay, I get it. I was just wondering where the door went to. Okay, I haven't been up yet. Entrance. Right wing. Okay. That all makes sense. Guard quarters. Can I be here? I wondered, what if I probe? Too complex. Nice. Not really a whole lot going on there. Just gonna sleep. Glug. March. No, this one I could unlock though. Here we go. Yeah, man. Yeah, nice. Come on. Okay. What's up? Here's the guard, a dude. Close the door while I do this one. Hey, nice. Hey, look at that. I'm literally just training my lockpicking skill right here. Oh, I haven't read this one, really? Damn, it's long. Heard a lot of books today, that's okay. Okay. This will be nice, because I've read before, so I'm a little in the Wolf Queen mentality here. So, Montokai. Third era, year 63. In the autumn tide of the year, Prince Pelagius, son of Prince Uriel, who was the son of Empress Kintira, right, because Kintira is the Empress, so her son Uriel, technically from the direct line, even though Kintira was from a mistress, maybe. Or Kintira was a mistress, is what I'm saying, yeah. But she has the... Oh, the niece. Okay, never mind. Maybe not. No, niece of the great emperor, Tibersepton. Yeah, okay. Maybe she's like a dark horse. I don't know. Really. So Prince Pelagius came to the High city-state of Camorn, to pay court to the daughter of King Volstead. Her name was Quintilla, the most beauteous princess in Tamriel, skilled at all the maidenly things, and an accomplished sorceress. 11 years a widower, with a young son named Antiochus, who was, the debaucherer. Pelagius arrived at court to find that the city-state was being terrorized by a great demon werewolf. Something to do with the birth of the wolf, maybe? Instead of wooing Pelagius and Quintilla together went out to save the kingdom. With a sword and her sorcery, it's a good date, the beast was slain, and by the powers of mysticism, Quintilla chained the beast's soul to a gem. Yeah, gemcraft is really good. Yeah, I like soul gems. Pelagius had the gem made into a ring and married her. But it was said that the soul of the wolf stayed with the couple until the birth of their first child, right? And then it went into Potema. So, 17 years later, "The ambassador from Solitude has arrived, your majesty," whispered the steward Balbus. "Right in the middle of dinner," muttered the Empire weakly. "Tell him to wait." "No, father, it's important that you see him," said Pelagius, rising. "You can't make him wait and then give him bad news. It's undiplomatic." "Don't go, then. You're much better at diplomacy than I am. We should have all the family here," Emperor Uriel II added. Where are they? Are they in Cyrodiil? No? Or... Doesn't have a location. Probably Cyrodiil with the Emperor's here. It's probably Imperial City. So the Quintira's done. Now it's Emperor Uriel. But I feel like she takes over because Emperor Uriel gets killed or something. I don't know. So then Quintira maybe comes back. I'm not sure. We'll see. "We should have all the family here," Emperor Uriel II added, suddenly aware of how few people were present at his dinner table. "Where's your mother?" "Sleeping with the archpriest of Kynareth," Pelagius would have said, but he was, as his father said, diplomatic. Instead he said, "At prayer." "And your brother and sister?" "Amiel is in Firsthold, meeting with the Archmagister of the Mages Guild, and Galana Though we won't be telling this to the ambassador, of course, is preparing for her wedding to the Duke of Narcissus. She's getting married to a Morrowind Duke. Since the ambassador expects her to be marrying his patron, the King of Solitude instead. Okay. So they've changed the marriage promises. We'll tell him that she's at the spa having a cluster of pestilent boils removed. Tell him that, and he won't press too hard for the marriage. Politically expedient though it may be, politically advantageous, I think is what that means. Pelagius smiled. You know how queasy Nords are about warty women. But dash it, I feel like I should have some family around, so I don't look like some old fool despised by his nearest and dearest, growled the Emperor, correctly suspecting this to be the case. What about your wife? Where's she and the grandchildren? Right, it says Pelagius and Quintilla got married, yeah. Quintilla's in the nursery with Sepphoris and Magnus. Antiochus is probably whoring around the city, and I don't know where Potema is, probably at her studies. I thought you didn't like children around. I do during meetings with ambassadors in damp staterooms, sighed the Emperor. They lend an air of, I don't know, innocence and civility. Ah, show the blasted ambassador in, he said to Balbus. Potema was bored. It was the rainy season in Imperial Province. Wintertide, and the streets and gardens of the city were all flooded. She could not remember a time when it was not raining. Had it been only days, or had it been weeks, or months since the sun shone? There was no judging of time any more in the constant flickering torchlight of the palace, and as Potema walked through marble and stone hallways, listening to the pelting of rain, she could think nothing but that she was bored. Astephe, her tutor, would be looking for her now. Ordinarily, she did not mind studying. Rote memorization came easily to her. She quizzed herself as she walked through the empty ballroom. When did Orsinium fall? First air in 1980. Who wrote Tambrielian tractates? Cosi. Tractates. Like a tract. I'm just gonna see if that's a word. Treatise, okay. Yeah. Just a discourse on Tamriel, I guess. When was Tiber Septim born? Second era 288. Who is the current king of Daggerfall? Morton, son of Gothlir. Who is the current Sylvanar? Varbranth, son of Varbril. Who is the warlord of Lilmoth? In Argonia. Trick question, it's a lady. Iowa. What will I get if I'm a good girl and don't get into any trouble, and my tutor says I'm an excellent student? Mother and father will renege on their promise to buy me a Daedric katana of my own, saying that they never remembered that promise. It's far too expensive and dangerous. That's an epic wish. The sharpest katana made out of. I think it's like Daedric weapons are made out of the trapped, like tormented souls of Daedra. So yeah, hell yeah. There were voices coming from the Emperor's stateroom. Her father, her grandfather, and a man with a strange accent of Nord. But Tama moved a stone she had loosened behind a tapestry and listened in. Let us be frank, your Imperial Majesty, came the Nord's voice. My sire, the King of Solitude, doesn't care if Princess Galana looks like an orc. He wants an alliance with the Imperial family, and you agreed to give him Galana or give back the millions of gold he gave to you to quell the Khajiit rebellion in Torval. This was the agreement you swore to honor. I remember no such agreement, came her father's voice. Can you, my liege? There was a mumbling noise that Potema took to be her grandfather, the ancient emperor. Perhaps we should take a walk to the Hall of Records. My mind may be going, said the Nord's voice. The Nord's voice sounded sarcastic. I distinctly remember your seal being placed on the agreement before it was locked away. Of course, I may verily be mistaken. We will send a page down to the hall to get the document you refer to, replied her potted voice, with the cruel, soothing quality he used whenever he was about to break a promise. Potema knew it well. She replaced the loose stone and hurried out of the ballroom. She knew well how slowly the pages walked, used to running errands for a doddering emperor. She could make it to the Hall of Records in no time at all. The massive ebony door was locked, of course, but she knew what to do. A year ago, she caught her mother's Bosmer maid pilfering some jewelry. In exchange for her silence, forced the young woman to teach her how to pick locks. Fatima pulled 2 pins off her red diamond brooch and slid the first into the first lock. Red diamond, that's the symbol of the Empire, the Imperial line. Holding her hand steady and memorizing the pattern of tumblers and grooves of the mechanism. Each lock had a geography of its own. I bet this book increased my lock picking. Yeah, all the books that increase skills have a little bit where they talk about the skill. It's kind of cool. Makes sense. The lock to the kitchen larder, 6 free tumblers, a frozen seventh, and a counterbolt. She'd broken into that just for fun, but if she had been a poisoner, the whole imperial household would be dead by now, she thought, smiling. The lock to her brother Antiochus' secret stash of Khajiit pornography. Oh god. Just 2 free tumblers and a pathetically poisoned quill trap that easily dismantled with pressure on the counterweight. And you put a poisoned quill trap guarding the Khajiit porn. uh, that had been a profitable score. It was strange that Antiochus, who seemed to have no shame, proved so easy to blackmail. She was, after all, only 12, and the difference between the perversions of the cat people and the perversions of the Cyrodiils seemed pretty academic. Still, Antiochus had to give her the diamond brooch, which she treasured. She had never been caught, not when she broke into the Archmage's study and stole the spellbook, not when she broke into the guest room of the King of Ghislaine and stole his crown the morning before Magnus's official welcoming ceremony. It had become too easy to torment her family with these little crimes. But here was the document the Emperor wanted for a very important meeting. She would get it first. But this was the hardest lock she ever opened. Over and over she massaged the tumblers, gently pushing aside the forked clamp that snatched at her pins, drumming the counterweights. It nearly took her a half a minute to break through the door to the Hall of Records, where the Elder Scrolls were housed. The Elder Scrolls! Oh, damn. I feel like you need some more. If a kid can break into the vault with the Elder Scrolls, like, gotta up your security. That's crazy. It's hard to half a minute, too. That's not that long. The documents were well organized by year, province, and kingdom, and it took Potema only a short while to find the promise of marriage between Uriel Septim II, by the grace of the gods, Emperor of the Holy Cyrodiilic Empire of Tamriel, and his daughter, the Princess Galana, and his Majesty King Mantiarco of Solitude. She grabbed her prize. It's interesting how they describe this as the marriage between Uriel Septim II, like Cyrodiil, that's the only important part, and his daughter, the one actually getting married. The important part is that he's marrying the Emperor. She grabbed her prize and was out of the hall, with the door well locked before the page was even in sight. Back in the ballroom, she loosened the stone and listened eagerly for the conversation within. For a few minutes, the 3 men, the Nord, the Emperor, and her father, just spoke of the weather and some boring diplomatic details. Then there was a sound of footsteps and a young voice, the page. Your Imperial Majesty, I have searched the Hall of Records and cannot find the document you asked for. There, you see, came Potema's father's voice. I told you it didn't exist. But I saw it, the North's voice was furious. I was there when my liege and the Emperor signed it. I was there. I hope you aren't doubting the word of my father, the sovereign emperor of all Tamriel, not when there's now proof that you must have been mistaken. Pelagius's voice was low, dangerous. Of course not, said the Nord, conceding quickly. But what will I tell my king? He is to have no connection with the imperial family, and no gold returned to him as the agreement, as he and I believe the agreement to be. We don't want any bad feelings between the Kingdom of Solitude and us, came the Emperor's voice, rather feeble but clear enough. Well, what if we offered King Mantiarco our granddaughter instead? Potema felt the chill of the room descend on her. Is this kind of her fault that this is happening? Because she got rid of the document? I mean, maybe. I guess so. But maybe they wouldn't want to do it anyways. I don't know. The Princess Potema, is she not too young? Asked the Nord. She's 13 years old, said her father. That's old enough to wed. Eh, I don't know. She would be an ideal mate for your king, said the Emperor. She is admittedly, from what I see of her, very shy and innocent, but I'm certain she'd be quickly to grasp the ways of the court. She is, after all, a symptom. I think she would be an excellent Queen of Solitude, not too exciting, but noble. Ha! That's not going to be true. The granddaughter of the Emperor is not as close as his daughter, said the North rather miserably, but I don't see how we can refuse the offer. I will send word to my king. You have our leave, said the Emperor, and Potema heard the sound of the North leave the state's room. Tears streamed down Potema's eyes. She knew who the King of Solitude was from her studies. Mantiarco, 62 years old and quite fat, and she knew how far Solitude was and how cold in the northernmost climate. Her father and grandfather were abandoning her to the barbaric Nords. The voices in the room continued talking. Well acted, my boy. Now make sure you burn that document, said her father. My prince? Asked the page's querulous voice. The agreement between the Emperor and the King of Solitude, you fool. We don't want its existence known. My my prince, I told the truth. I couldn't find the document in the Hall of Records. It seems to be missing. By Lorkhan, roared her father. Why is everything in this palace always misplaced? Go back to the hall and keep searching until you find it. Potema looked at the document. Millions of gold pieces promised to the Kingdom of Solitude in the event of Princess Galana not marrying the king. She could bring it to her father, and perhaps as a reward he would not marry her to Mantiarco, or perhaps not. She could blackmail her father and the Emperor with it and make a tidy sum of money. Or she could produce it when she became Queen of Solitude to fill her coffers. Buy anything she wanted. More than a Daedric katana, that was for sure certain. So many possibilities, but Damon thought. She found herself not bored anymore. Yeah, already onto her plots. Damn, it seems like you had kind of a shitty upbringing, you know?
Yes,
That father didn't think twice about sending his granddaughter away. Oh, damn, really? What if I crouch and just do a bit of honestly open door? Yeah, you don't care. Hell yeah. I mean, they're cheap. Why not? I'll keep them. Yeah, we can lock this. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I was in there already. Hey, wow, I feel like my lockpicking is getting better, maybe, but I guess this is a journeyman lockpick. Well, or I was getting lucky. Goddamn. Okay. Apprentice lockpick. There we go. Nice. Hey, there we go. Very nice. All that got one skill point, but hey, that's okay. So not suspicious. I go through every door. They're like, yup, this is normal. It's kind of a cool shot. All the open doors. Where could they lead? I like hallways of mysterious doors. I have a lot of dreams like that, where there's like
Sarah.
hallways of many doors. I feel like I can't open them that often though. They're
I'm
often
listening.
move too slowly or something. But sometimes they have interesting things.
Oh,
Where am I going?
wealth
Is there anywhere else to go? I think this was it.
What is this about?
I don't know. There might have been more. Whatever. I don't feel the need to go nuts, and I have no real reason to be here. In all perfect honesty, I do want to explore the manor that the Thieves Guild wants me to steal that helmet from, though. With a Morik Tong. I don't know if they'll like that I'm here. Though admittedly, I could also join the Morik Tong. That could be cool.
Do I know you?
In Vivek. Okay, I'd have to do that in Vivek. I haven't found the Dark Brotherhood at all, though. I've read this. I kind of like these guys because they're basically like, instead of doing... Oh, I haven't read this before. That's not too long. But, like, the Murray-Tonga are kind of smart because it's basically like, instead of having huge wars and getting a bunch of just innocent civilians involved in war and affecting everyone, they just assassinate each other through secret hidden wars. Like, honestly, it's more civilized. The prayers of Baranat, a traditional myth. When the Lady Genevra was kidnapped from her estate and held for ransom, her mother sent word out that whoever rescued her would be allowed to marry her and inherit the land. Unfortunately, in these troubled days, kidnappings, murders, and thievery were rampant, and there was a dearth of able-bodied adventurers for such assignments. In fact, the only person who answered her call was a skinny little fellow named Baronat. "You are certainly brave, but I fear you would never survive," said the old woman. "My daughter, you see, has been kidnapped by the Corbeil brothers, whose physical prowess is the stuff of legends." "My lady," said Baromat, "when I was born, I was blessed by Vivek, Almalexia, and Sothasil, and I have the ear of the saints. If I run into any trouble, I'll call on them to aid my quest." Doubtful, but having no other prospects, the old woman sent Baronet off, explaining that the four brothers' camp was to the north. In the center of the camp, the eldest and most powerful brother, Aaron Corbeil, was holding Lady Genevra personally. Each of its brothers guarded a different post along the valley. Baronet would have to defeat each to rescue the lady. So you not go around them and just... Whatever, it's a mythical story. He's got to do the thing. He's got to do it in the proper way. It's a hero story, I guess, you know. Can't, no shortcuts. I enjoy that type of storytelling, honestly. Sort of heroic Arthurian, like hero's journey type of tale. Baronet rode many miles through the northern swamps before he came to the first of the brothers' guard posts. There he saw Venus Corbeil, the youngest of the brothers, watching the valley for intruders. Venus was known to be faster than the wind, a warrior who could thrash his opponents before they even unsheathed their weapons. Baronet took a look at his sad, cut-great iron blade and prayed to the saints. Saint Veloth the Pilgrim appeared before Baronet in shining robes and smiled upon him. "Baronet, put down your blade, and I will make you swifter than bolt of lightning." Baronet dropped his blade and ran at Vanis, moving so fast he didn't rustle a leaf with his pace. Oh, and this book raised my hand to hand, so he's just punching this guy to death. In a flash, Venus was dead by Baronet's hands. The adventurer continued on until he reached the second youngest Corbeil brother, Theron, who not only was as fast as Venus, but so strong he could rip a trauma shrub up by the roots with his 2 fingers. Baronet hid himself and trembled as he looked at the giant Theron Corbeil. Again, the young adventurer prayed to the saints. Saint Nerevar, the captain, appeared before Baronet in golden armor and smiled upon him. "Baronet, I will make you stronger than 100 warriors." Baronet rushed at Theron, knocking the giant through a boulder, which turned to dust on impact. Damn. Theron tried to get to his feet, but Baronet tore him apart, scattering him across the valley floor in 87 pieces. Oh, shit. Damn. Okay. Guess he's stronger than 100 warriors. That's pretty strong. Beyond Theron's post was a raging river where the second eldest Corbeil brother, Horus, stood guard. Horus, who was faster than his brother Venus, stronger than his brother Theron, and so tough that he could swim in the lava of Dagathir like it was the Patamaic Ocean. Baronet thought of his... So I wonder if the Patamaics, the people who live under the ocean, like those... this is back to the 4th Wolf Queen book I read earlier about those. The Patamaics, the pale people who spoke in burbles and gibberish with, like, not gibberish, burbles or whatever. They made noises to talk to each other, and they had, like, transparent skin. Apparently, he was good in bed or something. So I'm just wondering, because maybe it's not a continent, because it wasn't mentioned in the list of continents. So maybe the Patamaics are from just under the ocean, or it's an island. Or it's an island. It could be an island. Baronet thought of his own tolerance for pain, which was minimal, and prayed to the saints for help. St. Roris the Martyr, I guess he'd have high pain tolerance, he's a martyr, appeared before Baronet with flesh like sparkling gems. Because it's bloody? Or what? His flesh is just made of metal? I'm not sure. Made of, I mean, stones? Interesting. Smiled on him. Baronet, I will make you unyielding as the heart of oblivion. Baronet rushed at Horace, and two plunged into the rushing river. For 12 hours they wrestled one another under the water, until Horace could hold his breath no more and drowned. Baronet pulled himself out of the river and continued down the valley until he reached the camp. Aaron Corbeil himself was there, guarding a squirming sack, which Baronet assumed either contained Lady Ginevra or several large cats. Interesting alternative there, several cats. The young adventurer quailed at the prospect of doing battle with Aaron Corbeil, the swiftest, strongest, sturdiest, and most accomplished fighter of the brothers. He prayed to the saint for help. St. Olms the Just appeared before Baronet in a burst of flame and smiled upon him. Baronet, I will make you more cunning in battle than the most dangerous of Daedra. Baronet walked calmly into camp and began battle with Aaron Corbeil. The fight lasted 7 days, damn. For 6 of them, Aaron had the upper hand. He rained kicks and punches down, using a rhythmic style the Khajiit called Goat Fang. He parried and blocked in all the fashions of the great Nordic warriors. He maintained his balance, coordination, speed, strength, timing, and tactics as the moons rose and fell from the sky. But on the 7th day, as he was preparing his killing blow, he capitalized. I want to see this fight. Make like this. This would be a good Kill Bill plot. He suddenly stopped, eyes wide open. The blood drained from his face, and he realized the trap he had stepped into, a trap with no escape. With 3 quick flashes of his hand, Baronet completed the cycle of blood, the old Redguard fighting style he had begun on day 1. A fighting style that's meant for 7-day fights. That's crazy. um, that's pretty badass. He prepared his killing while he's switching around all the styles, but Baronet was doing the cycle of blood, and he completed it. Damn. Aaron Corbeil breathed no more. The young adventurer ran to open the sack where Lady Ginevra lay, his first surprise. She had a face like a drow, and as she began to berate him for taking his time, he realized that she had a very, very unpleasant personality as well. Several days later, when they were back at the old woman's court, he discovered the estate that he would be inheriting was utterly dissolute by decades of blightstorms and poor crowns. St. Dylan the Wise watched the young adventurer from a cloudless sky and smiled at him. Baronet, before you fight, find out what you're fighting for. Okay, that's kind of funny. Sup. I like the atmosphere in here. It's very got red assassin core. You look a little out of place, man. But okay. Damn. Spooky. Look at that mask. He's got the right eye's covered in this triangle. The triangle house. Dire noise, interesting. Ooh, hide. Invisibility for 30 seconds itself. Might do that actually. I was also thinking Night Eye. I could try Night Eye with the boots of speed, blinding speed. Maybe that makes you see in the dark. I think did I buy that already though? I don't know. Which is Night Eye? Only 30 seconds though, but I don't know. Let's not test it. Maybe that's dumb. Because if I can't get rid of it, I'm gonna clutter up all my spells. They're gonna get so cluttered. But whatever. I wonder if there's a way to get rid of them. I mean, I don't care in the end. I could just look through it. So I just want to test this out. So if I put on these boots of blinding speed, cast Night Eye. Yes! Oh my god. I mean, it's not perfect, but okay. I must have somehow gotten Night Eye. Because this is what it looked like briefly. Oh my god, this is crazy. I mean, it's not good though. This is like crap vision, but if I'm just going from like one place to another. Oh man, I'm so fast. Oh, amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay. I wonder if I have like if I could get a stronger version of that. 20 points. So what if I had like a 70 point net? Is it brighter? I don't know how that works. Maybe not. That'd be kind of busted if you could do that though. So I get it, but still, even just the fact that you can do that and see anything at all kind of counters the disadvantage there.
I'm willing to share my insights for the right price.
Cool. I mean, marksman, I do kind of want to train that up. I'm so poor. I'm not going to spend my money right now. Actually, do you want... Nah, I don't want to sell this stuff. Rich and red. Rich and red. Oh, good day, y'all. Keep on killing. Best of luck with the killing. Here we go, Erebar Manors. This is where I should find that helmet.
Okay, Outlander, but make it quick. What was that?
What's up?
Let's hear it.
Got a tree. I kind of like the mushrooms better, but the tree is pretty. It's nice. Is that it? Private court. No, there's more. Okay. That sounds weird. That like, why would it go directly to the guard quarters? You have a very nice hat, my friend.
I haven't got all day to stand around and talk
Look
to
at
you.
that. No, I want to look at your hat, man. It's all locked. You are. So I wonder if could I cast some. Damn, I suck at casting these spells. Maybe I can just... I'm gonna sleep to get my mana back. No, pickaxe. There we go. I mean, lockpick. Hey, nice. Sleep. Okay. Plug. Peckish. Wee bit peckish. Peckish. Come on. There we go. Nothing. Hey, some scut. Skit. Give me the skit. I love skit. Just in case this don't go well, I kind of just want to save before I break in. You're gonna see me, man. What if I turn invisible, though? I believe. Hi, it's gotta be illusion, right? Yeah, illusion. My illusion sucks ass. That's why it's not working. It's really bad, man. Fuck. It's so bad, dude. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now do you see me? What? He just doesn't care? Am I still invisible? No, I miscast water walking. Yo, Sermon 20. Okay. Here we go. Sermon 20. Oh, let me start before I forget. I'll take some pictures of this. Collecting all of these sermons. I want to read them in order and make sense of it all. A lot of reading today, but that's good. That's okay. I love the reading. It's one of my favorite, maybe my favorite part of the game. It's a blast. Okay, so this is maybe the beginning of the monsters, because it seems like a lot of these later books are about the monsters that Vivek has to kill or something. But Sermon 20, which were born from Watra. Yes, mentioned here already, I think. The first monster was actually two, having been born twice, like his mother-father, and these are the children of Vivek too. Mother-father, yes. Vivek, androgynous or hermaphrodite. Manifold god, multifaceted. He was not the mightiest of the 8 to escape Watra. I'm still conceiving of what that is, but it's interesting. But his actions were the most worrisome. He was known as Moon Axel. I've read about him before, and he harvested the leftover foibles of nature. What's a foibles? Foible? A minor weakness or character eccentricity.
Foibles.
Foibles. Okay. Strange habit that's not serious flaw. Okay. So Moon Axel harvested the eccentricities of nature. This he did twice, as was said, and the second harvest always brought ruin or unwritten law. Yeah, his aspect was faceted like a polyhedron, right? He's like a scary geometry, like kind of thing. Dark polyhedron. It's kind of a Lovecraft sort of idea, like of like fearful symmetry and geometry and stuff. I don't know. Geometric monsters. Kind of cool. No parallels are mentioned in the finding of Moon Axel. But it was known that he was immune to spears, so Vivek had to use swords not held. Oh, yeah, right. The sword not held, right? I read it before. So Vivek had to use the sword not held against him. So it's like a psychic sword he controls, but I think it's made more metaphysical than that. I'm not sure. Before he took issue with the monster, the warrior poet asked, "How came you to be immune to spears?" To which Moon Axel replies, "Mine is a dual nature and protein. I am in fact made of many straight lines, though none last too long. In this way, I have learned to ignore all true segments." I tried to do justice to a polyhedron talking. Dual nature, too. The trembling voice is trying to get at his nature of two things. Protean, I think that means like really old. Oh, protean, highly variable, versatile, able to change forms. Okay, I was totally wrong. Many-formed. Made of many straight lines, though none last too long. In this way I've learned to ignore all true segments. Mm-hmm. I guess he's just, he's saying like he's protean, so he's ever changing, and he's made of many straight lines that kind of come and go, so they don't last too long. So and this way, because he is made of these many changing lines, like a permanent line, like a sword can't, like a straight line, you can't hurt him or something. So here it's, I almost feel like I've read this before, but I gained a stat, so I don't know, I'm taking a picture of it again. Luckily, the sword not held was curved, therefore it could cut into Moon Axel. Of course. Before the sun was up, he was bleeding from many wounds. Vivek did not slay him outright, for to do so would to keep the foibles of nature within him and not back where they belonged. Soon Vivek had traced geography right again. Moon Axel was ready to be slain. I think I've actually read this before, but it was one of the first ones I read. I want to read it again. Apparently, I got a stat from it, so I don't know. So Vivek took the eccentricity of natures out of him, put him back, and now comes back. Moon Axel is ready to be slain. Vivek rose up in his giant form, to be terrible to look upon. He reached into the west and pulled out a canyon, holding it like a horn. Okay. I kind of remember this too. He reached east and ate a handful of Nyx hounds. Blowing their spirits through the canyon made a terrible wail, not unlike an unsolved woman, he said. Let this overtake you! And Moon Axel was overtaken by the curvatures of stolen souls. It's just like curving through this canyon, maybe? They wrapped about the monster like resin until finally he could not move, nor could his dual nature. Vivek said, Now you are solved, and pierced his child with Muatra. Munaxel had become reduced to something static and therefore shattered. So he had to maybe reduce him to something static in order to pierce him with Muatra, which is maybe a straight line or something? Straight sword. Muatra is interesting, though. There's more going on with that. I'm not sure what it is exactly. The lines of Moonaxle were collected by Velothi philosophers and taken into caves. There and for a year, Vivek taught the philosophers how to turn the lines of his sun into spokes of mystery wheels. This was the birth of the first whirling school. Okay. Before, there had only been the surface thought of fire, like wheels of fire. But now there's spokes on other wheels. Maybe, I guess? Vivek looked at his first wheeling students and observed. Alike the egg-layered universe is this morbid possession of three distant coverage. Soul-wrecked and alive, like my name is alive. In this cloister you have discovered one walking path, hilled like a sword, but more coarsened. So edged it is that it has to be whispered, to keep the tongue from bleeding, where its signs evacuate their former meanings, like empires that tarry too long. The sword is an estrangement from statesmanship. Look on the estimable lines of my son, now crafted star-wise. His every limb, so they're talking about the lines of Moon Axle, is every limb equidistant from the center. Is he solved because I will it so? There cannot be a second stage. Think on the theory that my existence promulgates the five elements. Promulgates means brings forth, right? Put into effect, I guess. Yeah, basically. Think on the theory that my existence promulgates the five elements, and alike the egg-layered universe, I am cause for great density. And alike the egg-layered universe, I am cause for great density. Here's a thought that can break the wagon's axle. Here's another that can soar. Okay. I was with it until this part. This part too was kind of confusing. So these static pieces. So the universe is layered like an egg. Similar to it is this morbid possession of three distant coverage. I don't get that. Three, like the triune. Soul wrecked and alive, like my name is. In this cloister, you discovered one walking path. So it's held like a sword, more coarsened. So it's edged. And it has to be whispered to keep your tongue from bleeding, where its signs evacuate their former meanings. Because they're not speaking properly with this, it's not the same. Sword is estranged from statesmanship. Diplomacy is better. And the estimable lines of my son, now crafted star-wise. Every limb. Okay, interesting. I'll come back to that one. Very, very interesting. Good sir, I get the feeling that you're not going to like if I open this door, but I'm going to try anyways. Or you don't give a shit, I guess? Okay. He's kind of in the door, though, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get in there, but... Can you leave the door, please? I'm going to leave and come back. I want to get in there. Bleh. Who's there? Nobody. But I'm gonna no clip because this is a bug. I'm sorry. I want to get in here. What's no clip? Toggle collision. Yes. Okay. Nothing cool. Nothing cool. That's like okay. In a case like this, I don't mind using the no clip. I think it's an old game, man. little bit of cheating. No. Bypassing. If the game cheats, I cheat. My curiosity is insatiable. I have to know what's behind the door. Yes, scuttle. You saw nothing. You saw nothing. You almost caught me stealing scuttle, but I was too quick. I got all your scuttle. You scut away with all your scuttle. Yeah, the houses, they really don't get along. Which, I mean, fair. Schmuck on my egg. I can do a lot of alchemy with these. They're so heavy. So heavy, man. Nice. Sure, rings are really light. No reason not to take that. Yes. Scut me up. Hey, 57 gold. Look at that cover. There's a little rectangle. Funky. I thought that was a helmet. I was like, oh my god, it's the helmet I'm looking for. But it wasn't. It was not. Nothing over here, right? Yeah, nothing over there. Yeah, helmet. Where would it be? Cumberry. I like cumberries. Some scrape jelly. Very nice. Very nice. This is probably the guard quarters. Okay. Bedrooms.
Let's hear it.
I'm just looking around. You don't need to do your job. Don't worry. I am Minor Arbar, Crusading Councilman of Great House Veteran. I'm Lord Commander of the Stone's March. One of the 5 traditional marches of House Veteran encompasses the Rothrurin and Clambering Moor regions and the adjoining Velothi Mountains, including what some call Malak Bathul. The marches are... House Veteran is divided its rightful land into 5 marches. The Stone's March, Acid March, Stone's March, Waters March, and Ghost March. And they're ruled by the Archmaster. Archmaster, I guess. Okay. So we're in the area of the Ghost March. Makes sense. The Ghost Gate. This is the seat of the Ghost March Council. The Great Valley region. On the border with Skyrim, okay. The Grey Meadows. I wonder if any of these places I'll be able to explore on the mainland. Okay, interesting. It's kind of cool.
Okay, Outlander, but make it quick.
The Monomyth, that's a cool book. Yeah, Lorkhan interesting. I want to read this one again sometime, but it's a major book. Yeah, it's just kind of on there. Artam, Varieties of Faith. Sure, I just want to briefly read Shore and Fear. Not Sheor. Just Shore. Shore, yeah, Nordic version of Lorkhan, yeah. Orki. Right, who is Orki? A lone god of the Nords who seemed to have taken up his worship in the Albarian will of Mora. Huh. Right, and Shore. Removed it. Tall Papa, he's cool. That whole myth is awesome. Yeah, he said to be reshaping the world from his hidden clockwork city. He's the prime mover on his event synthesizer. That's what it was called from that Doctor Who comic book I read ages ago, years ago. The event system synthesizer is like a cosmic organ that the prime mover used to like shape the direction of the universe. That's what this reminds me of. Oh, so cool, dude. I want to go to this place so badly. Tell them how to breed water for a day so we can flip Morrowind and kill the Akaviri invaders. Okay, that's pretty cool. Ifer, this was it, I guess. So this is the god that heard Azura whisper the secret to the Khajiit about the moons, so he was able to like get past the moons. Most important deity of the Basmari pantheon. Okay. The spirit of the now. So if you're really? Is that who he is? I guess. He created like order in the earth during the chaos times.
haven't got all day to stand around and talk to you. Okay, Outlander, but make it quick.
Deal with you.
Yeah. Hello. Testing. Testing. I think my mic's. Hello, testing. There we go, that works. Sounds a lot worse, but oh well. I should stop soon here anyways. Maybe now, if this game doesn't come back to life here. I all tabbed out, so it's always a gamble of or not it's gonna come back or not. Oh, there we go. Would you look at that? It came back.
Come on.
I haven't got all day to stand around.
But yeah, I'm gonna stop fixing here. So I'd love to steal this thing. I don't know how I'm supposed to do it though. 2 people in the room and he's right nearby. What if I cast? Damn, it's expensive stuff. Hardly succeeds. Oh, yo, fuck yeah. I wonder if it's just like a chance. Like when I steal something when I'm near someone else, it's like a percentage chance based on my sneak skill, which is super low, but hey, you know what? I'll take it.
which case, I feel a little weird with saves coming in, but whatever, man. Do what works. Do what works. I stole it, fair and square, fair and square. Okay, I might actually just go back to end my session here. I'll go back to the Thieves Guild and turn in this. I could sell it too. Holy shit. I want to wear it and see what it looks like too. Thieves Guild was there at the beginning here. Yeah, that mist. Weird effect. That's about. I hope it's not permanent. It's slightly annoying. Hello, Cliff Racer. The rat, the pot.
You wish to speak.
So you? No. I think the guy I want to talk to is down here.
And how are you?
Where I help
Hang
you,
up the
Mr.
jeweler. What do you think about this shit? Oh, hell yeah. Damn, it looked badass, actually. Damn, I want that, but it's medium armor, and I don't know. It's super cool looking, though. I don't know where you see. I guess the other eye holes, yeah. Hell yeah.
You may speak.
Damn, $1,000. Not bad. Advancement. We're now starboard losing the footpad. Footpad. Very nice, very nice. Condosa Arabar is a... Oh, well, it's just here. Been banned by the temple. Wait, I can get this. I wish I could.
What do you want?
Okay, last thing. I want to get this book. I'm curious. I'll learn about it. I know exactly where this is. Like the last job was harder, stealing that the helmet. So I was right in a room with two people. Kind of funny, same house too. Just had that be one mission. It's a bad organization at your guild here.
Okay.
Sorry. 2 operations now. I'm a master at this place, so I'll shall be well.
Come on, I haven't got all day to stand around and talk.
Gimme.
Come on, I haven't got all day to
I could have done the mark thing. I should do that more. I forget that's the thing. I think I have one in Balmora, so in that sense it's nice, but I'm not a big
I've
fast
got
traveler
other
anyway,
things to
so
do,
he's okay. Whoops. Okay. Yeah, it's a reward really well though. I mean, $1,000, not too bad. That's quick.
How are you?
Sup? Interesting books he's done, Mojave. What is it? Tell me what it's about, man. That's so unfair. What a ring and amulet. I like. Really? Chameleon. Ring, amulet of that one. Not sure what escape you there, but that's okay. Black cap. Okay. Wither shins. I read that book. What's that mean? I've heard that Miles Gloriosus over at Andus Trade House. I swear someone here has that. Fuck, where did I read that? Someone in like their basement just had that book. I swear to God, I read it in this town. I don't know. I don't remember though.
What does the breath of
I gotta go to bed though. It's late. It's late. I'll go to bed.
You honor me. Please speak.
Tongue Toad, what's up? Funny name. See, alchemy wouldn't be too bad to train. It's so expensive, man. It's so expensive. It's my level. I'm already halfway there. I could do to put a few levels in it. Don't know. I don't know. Wouldn't mind having more mana. Mind it. Whatever. Decision for another day. So excellent continuation. This great adventure. Yeah, a lot of reading today. That's good. That was fun. I feel like it's fun to piece together the lore and all the everything going on in the background. It's just not writing. It's just excellent for those books. Yeah, thanks a lot for watching. Hope everyone has a great night. I'll see you next time. I guess I won't see you. I'll talk to you next time. Continue the march through Morrowind. This meander. A mosey through Morrowind. It is kind of mosey. I'm in no rush. It's not much of a march. Okay. Good night, everybody.